Hello everyone, I'm Casey O'Rourke here at Fross and Fross Wealth Management. Welcome back to this week's market update and latest news for the week of Monday, September 9th. I'd like to share a few topics that have been on my mind lately, but before we jump into that, please take a moment to review those disclosures attached within the email, or if you're on social media, feel free to go to our website, www.frossandfross.com, and see the disclosures therein. As always, please remember that anything mentioned in today's video is not a formal recommendation. If you do have questions or concerns or would like to talk to us further about your individual situation, just reach out and let us know. I think it goes without saying that there's been some volatility in the stock market as of late over this past week, and frankly, we're not surprised. Something that we've been covering a lot lately with all the headlines we see on a daily basis ranging from fighting inflation, and what the Fed will do to combat that inflation. Will they cut rates? And if so, how much? Will it be 25 basis point or a quarter of 1% or a half of 1%? If they don't do enough, that could lead to further inflation concerns. But if they do too much, that could put fear in the market or investors alike that there may be a possibility for a recession. And so at this point, we are expecting a rate cut this month in September. There's been a lot of anticipation towards this, but we're finally here, and we'll have to wait and see where we go from here. There's also been obviously a lot of uncertainty surrounding the upcoming election and what that means for the market and your investments alike. Just know that this is something that our investment committee has been really doing a lot of research on for you, and we've been watching it closely. So you may be surprised to hear that historically you're better off to stay invested through an election cycle, and getting out during or before it could be detrimental to the long-term benefits of your portfolio. So we would encourage you to keep a disciplined approach. Don't make any rash decisions. Again, if you have any questions or concerns or risk tolerance changes, let us know. We're happy to sit down and talk about that with you further. On top of all this, the month of September is historically not one of the greatest months when it comes to performance in the market anyway. But again, we're not one to advocate trying to time the market and getting out and then jumping back in, because if you miss out on a rally, then that could be having a major longer term effect to your portfolio. So again, keep a disciplined approach and let us know if you have any questions. Another topic I'd like to mention today is that September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. And what you might ask yourself, what does that mean? And it could mean a couple of different things. One is, if you don't have life insurance, do you need it? If so, happy to review it, see what makes sense for you. If you do have life insurance, when was the last time that you reviewed it? Has it been a while, maybe a year, 2 years, 5 years? Break it out, pull out the policy, dust it off, bring it in at your next review. We're happy to review it with you. A couple of different types of insurance that we see the most of is term. That's temporary insurance that will expire at some particular time. It may or may not renew on an ongoing basis, but it tends to be much more expensive down the road. So again, knowing what you own and how it impacts your overall financial picture is important. You may also have more of a guaranteed type plan or one that's more dependent on cash value. Those are typically universal life or whole life. Those seem to be the most common. And so the important part is to understand what you have, educate yourselves, let us help you educate you on what you own. And if any changes are necessary, maybe premium if you're still paying into it, and even maybe running an in-force illustration to see, is this a healthy policy that will outlive me? Because that's the important part, that you want to make sure your beneficiaries do get something when the time comes. And speaking of beneficiaries, that's one of the most important parts. Your life may have changed over the years. And so if beneficiaries have changed, if someone may have predeceased you, or if you are in a second marriage, or if you disinherited someone, or simply just got a new estate plan and want to add a trust or have other features that are tied to that. So that's the important part. Things change over time, and it's always important to review them and see that they're in good shape. If you do have a policy, again, bring it on in. We're happy to review that for you and get familiar with what you own. And last and certainly not least, with September 11th right around the corner, I'd like to acknowledge those that have lost their lives due to those tragic events back in New York, and their families and friends that have been affected by that as well. I'm a former New Yorker, and I remember vividly the way things were back around that time frame. And you know what? Politics didn't matter. It didn't matter what race you were. Everyone was together as a unity and took care of each other. And so I think, with tensions running high in this current political environment, and with September 11th in mind, I think it'd be nice to get back to that feeling of unity again, and more importantly, respect. And I believe kindness will win overall. And that's really it for today. So hope this finds you well. I'm happy to report today's message for you. If you have any questions or would like to talk to us further about this, feel free to give us a call, 352-205-7800. Thanks again. Hope you have a great week ahead.